The World Cup used to have 32 teams. Now it has 48. Nobody asked for this. The players didn't ask, the coaches didn't ask, most fans didn't ask, and almost nobody can explain why it actually happened. Here's how it actually works. First, the format. 48 teams means 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 from each group, plus the 8 best third-place finishers advancing. That gives you 32 teams in a knockout round, which, if you're paying attention, is exactly the number that used to be in the whole tournament. You've added a preliminary round and called it the World Cup. Nobody is pointing this out loudly enough. Here's what most fans don't know. The 32-team format wasn't some ancient sacred tradition. It was 19 years old. The number has changed 5 times since the tournament began. 13 teams in 1930, 16 by 1934, 24 in 1982, 32 in 1998, now 48. The direction of travel has never once reversed. Every generation gets a bigger tournament, and the same explanation for why. More teams, more countries, more global interest. It sounds like inclusion, and partly it is. Africa went from 5 spots to 9, Asia from 4.5 to 8. Nations that spent decades watching the World Cup on television now qualify for it. That is a real thing. Here's the counterintuitive part. The other reason, the one nobody puts in the press release, is money. FIFA's revenue from the 2022 World Cup was approximately $7.5 billion. The projection for 2026 is significantly higher. Every extra match is another broadcast slot to sell. Every extra broadcast slot is more advertising. 16 extra teams means 48 extra group stage matches that didn't exist before. That is not a coincidence. That is the point. The argument FIFA makes is that both things are true simultaneously. More inclusion, more revenue, same decision. Whether you find that reassuring or uncomfortable depends entirely on how much you trust the organization making it. Now, here's the detail most people skip entirely. The third place finisher rule. In the old 32-team format, every group had a clean result. 2 teams went through, 2 went home. Simple, brutal, final. In the 48-team format, finishing third in your group doesn't automatically eliminate you. 8 of the 12 third-place finishers advance to the knockout round, which means a team can lose twice in the group stage and still be in the tournament. A coach who is losing in the final group game now has a calculation to make. Do we chase the win, or do we protect our third-place position and hope our points total is good enough? That is a fundamentally different game. Most viewers don't notice it. The coaches absolutely do. Right now, at the 2026 World Cup, you can watch the consequences in real time. Germany beat Curaçao 7-1. Canada beat Qatar 6-0. Some group stage matches have felt less like competitive football and more like a very organized demonstration of the gap between the world's best teams and everyone else. That is the format working exactly as designed, just not in the way that looks good on a highlight reel. 48 teams is not genius or disaster. It is a calculated expansion dressed as progress, built on real arguments about global inclusion, powered by financial logic that doesn't need your approval to keep going, and held together by a third-place tiebreaker system that most fans can't explain, but coaches think about constantly. The number went up in 1982. It went up in 1998. It went up in 2026. The next World Cup will probably go up again. The only real question is what they'll call it when it does. The game didn't change. You did. You're welcome. Subscribe if you like this. It really means a lot.